All right, thank you everyone for being here. I'm Lawrence Papaleo, licensed real estate salesperson with Gilbo Realty. Today is selling your home in today's market, Manlius, New York. Okay, I believe most of you said you were Manlius residents or Manlius homeowners, so thank you for coming here today. Our special guest, Jason Burns of Stewart Title, he won't be able to make it today. He called me about 2 hours ago and said, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make it. So it's just gonna be me, all right? Just you and I, and each other. So I'm a licensed real estate salesperson with Gilbo Realty. There are no Gilbo Realty offices here in Manlius. However, we do have one off of Carrier Circle at Twin Oaks Drive, 202 Twin Oaks Drive. And we also just opened one up behind Johnny Rockets at Destin USA Mall. So if you're ever at the mall, stop by and see us. All right, let's see, we've got a clicker here. Let's use the clicker. Okay, disclaimer. Number one, I'm not an attorney and I do not practice law. I cannot and will not provide any advice regarding law or lawful interpretation. All right, so you got any questions regarding the law? I really can't advise you about that. I am licensed to sell real estate here in New York and here in Manlius. However, I'm not licensed to give you advice regarding the law. All right, keep that in mind. Most charts, infographics, snips, lists, etc. in this presentation are not my property and were produced by other parties like NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, HGTV, I took a list from them that I'm going to share with you guys, and also the Central New York Information Service, okay, etc. There may be another party that I use, but I don't believe so. The information I bring to you today is for you to use at your will with the intent to better prepare yourself for selling your home. It may not contain everything needed to sell your home in today's market. Keep that in mind. What I'm doing are bring you suggestions, help you understand the market better. In your personal situation, you may need to produce something else at closing in order to successfully sell your home. Okay, this is just a general presentation to help the general public. Okay, and your attorney will be able to help you out with your specific situation. Comprende? Comprende. Got it. Okay, what to expect from today's presentation? All right, what do you want to get from being here today? I'm going to share with you market analysis nationally and locally. I could spend 6 hours getting into every nook and cranny of the market nationally and then here in Manlius. This is going to be far less than 6 hours. This whole presentation probably going to take around 45 minutes to an hour. But it's just so you could generally be more aware of the market. So we're going to get into a little bit of detail there, not a complete detail, but also how to prepare your house for sale. All right, so a lot of you here today, I'm assuming, are going to put your house on the market at some point. All right, so we're going to, at some point, whether it's the near future or far future, unless you really wouldn't be here, I wouldn't expect. All right, so we're going to get into how to prepare your house for sale. And lastly, what is expected from a seller before, during, and after a contract has been accepted. Okay, so during the contract exception is obviously the negotiations that go on. Okay. After the contract's been accepted and before closing. That's what that means. Okay, and before is when you put your house on the market. What do you want to get from being here today? Don't be shy. Does anyone want to share why they're here today? Nobody? All right, we got a shy group, no big deal. Okay, but whatever you're thinking in your mind, I hope that this presentation helps answer any questions you may have, and we'll have a question part of the presentation at the very end, so if you have any questions, that'll be another time to ask. All right? Perfect. Don't be shy, like this girl. Market recap / analysis in the U.S., the U.S. of A, and Manlius. All right, you all know Manlius. How many homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018? Anyone want to take a bite? Take a stab at it. You say 3 million? No. Nope, not 3 million. 8 million? No. 5 million. Hey, that's pretty close. The answer is around 5.34 million. You get a prize. All right, I'm going to get these prizes out for you. Stopped at Dunkin' Donuts before coming over. I want to entice the crowd for participating. So, $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Thank you for your contribution. All right, buy yourself your next coffee or 2 coffees on me. Thanks. Okay, 5.34 million homes were sold in the U.S. in 2018. That's a lot of homes. All right, this chart here, this shows the median seller tenure in their home before putting their house on the market. If you look at 1985, average homeowner stayed in their home for only 5 years before putting their house on the market. Okay, then it stayed pretty much at 6 from 1987 to 2008, with the exception of 1997. All right, and then after 2008, the lovely year of 2008 in real estate, what did sellers do? They decided to hold on to their homes a little bit longer before putting their house on the market. Okay, so we see in 2012, 2011, it's up to 9 years. Homeowners stayed in their house for 9 years before putting their house on the market. Then jumped to 10, 9, 10, 10, 9, okay, in 2018. All right, let me ask you this. If people are holding on to their homes longer, what does that do to the market? What does that do to the market? Let me ask you this. If people only stayed in their homes for a year before putting their house on the market, would we see a lot more inventory? Yeah, we'd see half the inventory of homes out there for sale. Okay, so every year there'd be half the markets for sale of homes, and the next year the other half, and then another half, and then another half. Okay, so as that gets from a year all the way to 9 years, that changes. Okay? Simple supply and demand. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this chart. If not, I'm going to explain it right now. All right, on the y-axis, you've got price. On the x-axis, you have quantity. All right, so let's see. Is this a laser pointer too? It is. All right, perfect. Just kidding, I won't get you. All right, supply and demand. Okay, this here is the demand. This here's the supply. Okay, if the supply level is low, quantity, okay, if there's a low supply of homes on the market, they could demand a higher price. Okay, you draw that line like this over, just like they did there. All right, as there's more supply in the market, demand starts to go down. Okay, this is a healthy market here. And if there's a lot of demand, because this is the quantity axis, if there's a lot of demand, if there's not a lot of demand, because this is the demand, so it's lower, but high quantity, check that out, the price is going to be lower. Okay, so if there's not a lot of demand because there's not a lot of buyers out there, but there's a lot of sellers, all right, the price of your home is going to be lower. Pretty straightforward. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Does anyone want to take a stab at what market we're in? All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay, this chart here, sales price compared with listing price by region. Okay, by region in the U.S. There it is right there. Percentage distribution of sales price as a percent of listing price. All right, here we've got less than 90%, 90 to 94%, 95 to 99%, 100%. This is the sales price compared to listing price, so asking price. All right, so if I ask for $100,000 for my house, this would mean that I sold it for less than $90,000. All right, and this all the way down here would mean that I sold it for over 110,000. Okay, so of all sellers, most people sold between 95 to 100%. All right, because 35% plus 26%, what's the quick math? Is that 61% of people sold their home between 95% to 100% of their asking price. In the Northeast, because that is us, all right, 9% of people sold their home for less than 90% of their asking price. 15% of people sold their home between 90 and 94% of asking price. 35% of people from 95% to 99% of asking price. 21% of people in the Northeast sold their house for asking price. 18% sold their house for over asking price, but less than 110%, and 2% sold for over 110% of what they were asking. All right, and here are just some of the other regions. And the median sales price as a percentage of listing price in the whole country is 99%. For us here, it's 98%. Okay, and actually in Manlius, it is the same. We stay consistent with the Northeast, 98% of asking price. Over in the West, they got it made 100%. Sales price compared with listing price by number of weeks home was on the market. All right, that's a mouthful. Sales price compared with listing price by number of weeks home was on the market. Percentage distribution of sales price as a percentage of listing price. Okay, so of the people who sold their house for less than 90% of asking price, 23% of people sold their house 17 or more weeks after putting it on the market. Okay, and actually the distribution goes downwards. So let's take work. Of the people who sold their house in less than a week, less than a percentage of them sold their house for less than 90% of asking price. 5% of them sold their house from 90% to 94% of asking price. 15% of them sold their house in a week in 95% to 99% of asking price. 50%, take a look at this. Of all the people who sold their house in a week, 50% of them sold it at asking price. Okay, so it is extremely important to price your house right. 22% sold their house 101 to 110% of asking price, and 8% sold their house for more than 100 to 110% what they're asking for it. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the very end over here, and this is a nice distribution. 1 to 2 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks, okay, 9 to 16 weeks. As it goes from less than a week all the way to 17 or more weeks, what numbers get lower and what numbers get higher? Okay, clearly the ones less than 100% get higher. Okay, and 100% gets way lower. And especially the 101 to 110% and more than 110%. They all get lower. All right, so it takes 17 or more weeks to sell the homes that are mispriced. And we'll take a look at it right here. Less than 90% of asking price, 23%. 90 to 94% of asking price, 31%. 95 to 99%, 35% of sellers sold their home 17 or more weeks, 95 to 99%, and it gets far lower. At 100% or higher, 11%. Okay, so it's important, if you want to sell your house, to price it right. Now, there's going to be different pricing strategies that you're going to work out with your licensed real estate salesperson, all right, based on your situation. Do you need to sell because there was a death in the family and you just want to get rid of the property as soon as possible, so time is more important? Or are you trying to get the highest amount of of purchase price, okay, you're trying to net the highest amount of money for your sale, it's going to be a completely different strategy. And that's something you'll discuss with your licensed real estate salesperson when you list your house. Now let's talk about the town of Manlius. Excuse me. How many homes in the town of Manlius were sold and closed in 2018? I got another Dunkin' Donuts gift card. See, 1,000. No, that's a little too high. I probably shouldn't have even hinted at that because you could have been closer. I'm sorry. 400, getting hotter. 500? That is correct. Well done. Here you go. Dunkin' Donuts gift card. $5 gift card. Nowadays, that buys you what? One coffee? Back in the day, that could have bought you 2 coffees. I think it still can with a small, I'm not sure. But enjoy that next coffee out of me. Well done. 500 homes were sold in the town of Manlius and closed in 2018. Let's take a look at this, the stats of February 2019. Okay, and we're going to compare it to February 2018. Okay? New listings. In February 2018, 53 homes. Yep, 53 homes hit the market. This February, only 35. That's negative 34% change. All right, pending sales, 32 in February, 18 this February. Closed sales, 20 versus 17. All right, so activity has slowed down. 35 versus 53, okay, less inventory on the market. Less inventory hitting the market, which means that it's more of a seller's market, right? Okay. Days on market until sale. For the home sold in February 2018, there was 54 days on the market before a home sold in the town of Manlius. Sold. Okay? For the homes that sold in February of 2019, the average days on market was 80 days. Yikes. 48% difference. Okay. Median sales price. I wouldn't pay too much attention to this because in February 2018 it says the median sales price was what, 165 and change, and then in February 2019 it's 232,500. I don't believe property values have gone up 40.4%. So just disregard this one here. Average sales price, obviously if median sales price was that much higher, average sales price would be that much higher. Percent of list price received. Okay, 97.3% versus 96.7%. Okay, anyone can think of it as to why there's less inventory in the market, people are receiving less for their home. You know, sometimes buyers get desperate and they're willing to overpay for a property, but a lot of the buyers that I know and that I've worked with, they're smart people. They're not willing to overpay for a home. And you gotta remember that your house needs to appraise for the purchase price, or else they won't be loaned the amount to purchase your home. Okay, so I think people are starting to get just a little carried away with how much they should ask for over asking price, or overprice their home, and they're sitting on the market longer. Now, more people may have the strategy of trying to maximize, income, but in actuality, 96.7% of list price received versus 97.3%, it's dropped. Okay, inventory of homes for sale All right, in February of 2018, there was 120. February 2019, there was 113. Okay, and month supply of inventory. Last year was 3.3. This year is also 3.3. I'm going to get to the weeds on that. Interpreting months of inventory. How long it would take to sell all the homes for sale in the market, a specific market, if you were to add no more homes. Okay, so if you weren't going to add any more homes to the inventory, how long would it take for all the homes to be sold? All right, in the seller's market, it's 0 to 4 months of inventory. In a healthy market, 5 to 7 months of inventory. In a buyer's market, 8 or more months of inventory. Okay, does anyone remember which market we're in based on the previous slide? Very good, 3.3. So that would be the seller's market. And by the way, months of inventory, also known as absorption rate, another common terminology. In February, around what was the price per square foot sold in the town of Manlius? Okay, I just checked this. I updated it last night. Sometimes the information I receive from the CNY information service, it'll change for whatever reason, but as of yesterday, the answer, yep, over 100 square feet or $100 per square foot, that's correct, but it can even get even higher. $107 a square foot. Okay, that's great. How to prepare your house for sale. How to prepare your house for sale. I'm trying to decide if I want coffee or water. Just keep going back and forth. How to prepare your house for sale in today's market. Okay, this is the list I was talking about at the beginning of the presentation. 10 ways to prepare your home for sale. And this is HGTV's list on their website. I take zero credit for it, but I'm going to get into a little bit of the weeds of what they're saying, and I'm going to add some more things. Improve your landscaping. Okay, curb appeal is important. Curb appeal is important. It's their first impression when they pull up to your house that you put up for sale. All right, if there's dead bodies all over the front yard, I'm going to hit the reverse and speed out of the neighborhood. All right, I don't think any of you have dead bodies on the front yard, but you get what I'm saying, okay? Make sure it's tidy outside. Curb appeal needs to be spot on. So the grass is cut, shrubbery taken care of, landscaping should be spot on. Okay, no branches. Really take pride in what your home looks like, because people want to buy from someone who have the perception that they take care of their house. Okay. Clean the outside, same thing. Keep it tidy, keep it clean. Okay. Power wash the exterior too if it's dirty. Okay, little things. Make repairs. Okay, don't skip out on any repairs. You could price your house lower and say, I'm not going to touch these repairs. However, people don't want to buy into your problems. They have their own problems, right? And your problem is selling the house. Their problem is finding a house. Their problem is not buying a house with problems. Okay? So you're trying to make your house as marketable as possible to the market, to potential buyers. Make repairs. Right, you go to the grocery store and you buy a can of soup. Are you going to buy the one that's all dented? Was it Billy Madison, where he, no, Big Daddy, where Adam Sandler throws the cans on the ground and says, he's going to get a discount. Don't, maybe that quote's not correct, but that scene did happen in that movie, I believe. All right, so make the repairs, make the necessary repairs. All right, take pride in your house. If you're going to put it on the market, make sure everything's functioning. Go the extra mile. Make the front door inviting. You could do that or not. I don't think that's the end of the world. No one's going to say this front door is not inviting. I have to walk away immediately. But do something to add a little pizzazz to the house, and that's what they mean. Okay, add a little bit of pizzazz. All right, you want to be neutral, but also if something is inviting and welcoming or exciting, that's going to add value to your house. Okay, buy a welcome mat, a new welcome mat. I really don't think someone's going to buy a house based off of what welcome mat you have. Okay, but it will add to the ambiance, to the marketability of the house, the emotion that comes into the buyer when they're walking into the house. You know, something that says welcome guests. You walk in and you say welcome home. You could buy all sorts of signs, things like that from TJ Maxx, Home Goods Store, the place by Wegmans, I forgot what they're called. I stop by there all the time too, I forgot their name. Hobby Lobby, right? They have all sorts of stuff like that, and it really does help make your house more marketable. Okay, so when someone walks into your home, you want them to feel like they're home, and they can envision themselves living here. You know, if you have a sign as you walk in, and it says, "Get out, beware of dog, owner has guns, will shoot, no trespassing," I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to buy a house with all that stuff on there. Okay, remove clutter and depersonalize. All right, some of you may have great family members, and that's fine. Maybe your uncle or aunt won the World Hot Dog Eating Contest, and you have a picture of them shoving hot dogs into their mouth. Okay, not necessarily something you want in a huge poster form, you know, in the family room. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make it depersonalized. Make it so someone could just add their personalized, almost so that someone could add their personalized pictures and that when they move into it, or they can imagine it being there, not someone else's family necessarily. A few photos is fine, but you know, no one wants to see that uncle or that crazy uncle, crazy aunt. Okay, remove clutter as well. Space is an important thing. I'm going to get into a little more detail on that in the next slide too, or I may just do it now. The buzz is about the simplicity. You walk into a house and it's simple. Okay, in our society, we're materialistic. We buy things. A lot of hoarders out there. We buy things we don't need and they just sit, and then you know, the house is a mess. But people wish they were more lean with their materials, only have the stuff they really need. So when someone walks into your front door, walks into your house, they want to feel like, okay, I could live like this. Okay, if your teenage son's dirty underwear is on the floor, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure that the space is well used and is simplistic, minimalistic, okay, and easy on the eyes. Okay, really take advantage of that. Organize closets and drawers. All right, I don't really necessarily appreciate when my buyers start opening up drawers. They want to see, I've worked with some buyers who want to see if the drawers work, and I get that to an extent, but if furniture isn't staying or isn't conveying with the property, they shouldn't be doing that anyway. But if you do put your house on the market, it wouldn't hurt to go the extra mile and really show how neat you are. Even if you're not actually that neat, it's about the perception. Okay, so if someone were to go into your closet or your drawers, they would see that you're neat. Okay, it's all about the perception. Make every surface shine. Okay, make sure everything's clean, everything's spotless. Okay, you ever open up a magazine and they're marketing a room that's a mess? No, it's spacious, removed clutter, depersonalized, but also everything's clean. No dirty dishes. Again, you only get one shot at a first impression, and you need to take pride in your home. So make sure you wash every surface shines, everything looks beautiful. Okay, especially if you're trying to demand top dollar for your home. Take color down a notch. Take color down a notch. Shiny, vibrant greens, purples, pinks, because it's someone's bedroom. That's great and all when your family's living there or you're living there and your house isn't on the market. But if, let's just say, if, and anyone can buy your house, but this is just an example, if a family of mother and father, let's just say, and 3 sons come to your house, you have a 4-bedroom house, and one of the rooms is bright pink and purple. Not saying that men can't enjoy those colors, but I am saying that it doesn't really appeal to the masses of those people. So you want to keep them neutral. Neutral, less exciting. You really don't want to give someone anything to complain about. All right? Also, eliminate bad odors. Okay, the selling experience is an emotional experience, and you evoke emotion through your senses. All right, sight, feeling, taste, hearing, and touch. All right, I have a big nose, so I can smell any bad smell from, I don't want to say a mile away, but if your room smells, or not your room, I'm sorry, your house smells, it's going to affect the sale. Okay, it's going to affect the sale. With investors, however, someone smells cat urine, and they smell opportunity. And you know what investors like to do? Anyone know? Lowball offers, yes. Lowball offers. So if you want a lowball offer, stink up the place. All right? But if you want to get top dollar for your home, everything's got to smell good. Everything's got to look good. All right? Pillows got to feel good, even though they don't get the pillows. If they sit down on your sofa, everything's got to work to your favor. Trying to evoke that emotional experience in your house. Additional advice. All right, I wish I made the font a little bit bigger. If you can and are willing, it's not mandated, to provide any useful documents related to the house like utility bills or a survey to the buyer for their reference at showings and open houses. Okay, when I'm showing homes, people want to say, okay, where's the property line? And we go to the MLS sheet and it says depth of 450 yards or feet. Some people don't have that capacity to really see that. And I know sometimes there are tree lines, but if you have a survey and you can lay it out before showing, go ahead and do so. All right, we don't want to keep any secrets. And I get questions a lot about utility bills. A lot from first-time home buyers too. Okay, a lot of them are on a budget. Not all of them, but a lot of them are on a budget. This is their first home. They don't know what they're getting into. So if you just say that you're around $150, $200, it's not as strong as showing them what your utility bill was for the last month, few months, 6 months, bills for the last year, etc. Okay, the more information you can have, the better for your home. Make your home as spacious and as simplistic as possible. We went over that last slide, all right, but there's a lot of truth to it. A lot of homes, the last 2 homes I showed to my buyers sold on the very first day. They were extremely spacious. They took a lot of pride in their homes, the sellers, and it was simplistic. They didn't do anything too crazy. Okay? All the senses are used to create emotion. If you have an oil diffuser or infuser, I don't know what the word is for that, but then use it before and during showings. All right? There's this common thing in marketing a home or open houses where people will bake apple pie. The apple pie gives the smell of your home, the nostalgia, mama's apple pie or whatever, right? I've done that before with my open houses and it's really helped. Okay, so any way you can evoke positive emotions, feeling of comfortability, relaxation, their home, they could unwind from work, definitely do it. All right, last house that I showed, they actually overdid the lemon smell. Okay, that house did still sell. And I wish I had provided the video on here of a famous scene in Space Jam. I know this this may not necessarily be your cup of tea, but Space Jam was a movie with Michael Jordan and Looney Tunes. And they needed to repair the basketball court so everyone could train. And Tasmanian Devil and the rest of the Looney Tunes did a spit shine, and I wish I could show that too. Spit shine, making everything clean. But at the end, Tasmanian Devil does his tornado, and then at the very end, he says, "Lemony fresh." Okay? So, lemon smell is associated with clean. Lavender with we're relaxing. Okay? Don't give buyers any excuse to complain. Everyone wants an excuse to complain. Okay? You go to social media, I guarantee, if you have a Facebook, someone's complaining about something. People want to vent. People want to complain. Don't give buyers any excuse to complain, and they'll knock down the purchase price because, oh, this, that, the flusher doesn't work on the toilet. Make the repairs. Don't give them any excuse to complain. Fresh coat of paint to cover up imperfections works wonders. Now, if there are serious imperfections, okay, those need to be addressed. Okay, cracks in the foundation, do not paint over them to hide. Okay, you need to disclose it. All right, but imperfections as in, my son's 18 months old. If he grabbed a marker and started writing on the wall, okay, you can paint over it. Paint over it. A fresh coat of paint goes a long way. Okay, make repairs, then do a fresh coat of paint to make it look pretty. Hide valuables. Okay, when you're marketing your house, you're going to get strangers that come in the house. Not everyone who's going to be in your house are people you know, and unfortunately, not all of them can be people you trust. All right, hide your valuables. Lock them up, take them with you, do what you got to do. Those people coming into your house are going to have free reign to walk around your house. And if it's a family of 4 or 5 walking through, or a bunch of people, they shouldn't have too many, but a bunch of people, the licensed real estate agent can't keep their eye on all 5 people. Okay, so hide your valuables, very important. And I believe you can videotape, all right, but you need to warn and disclose. I'm not sure. All right, so I want you to discuss it with your attorney, and I don't want to give any advice on that. But if that was something you'd be interested in, I would take it up with a licensed attorney in New York. Pick up your pet's hair around the house. All right, if someone's allergic to cats or dogs or bunnies, okay, they're going to walk in there, they're going to have an allergic reaction, and there goes your chance of selling them the house, right? Okay, my mom has a dog, his name's Radcliffe, after Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter, and crazy dog. His hair gets everywhere. My dog gets hair everywhere too, but he goes to the bathroom in the house, right? So make sure you clean all the animal droppings. Right? That should be without being said, but I say it anyway. All right. Here's a quote that I like: "A sale is made when value exceeds price." Okay, think about this when you put your house on the market. Would you pay the amount you're asking the public to pay for your house if you were walking through it and you needed to buy a house in the area? The answer is no. You should really strongly consider not pricing it at that. Okay? Discuss it with your agent. All right, that's a common question I ask. And I ask that of my buyers too. When they put an offer in $20,000 less than asking price, I'd say, hey, this is what they purchased the house for 8 years ago. This is what you're offering. It's less than that. This is what the comps are showing. They priced it right. How would you feel if you received an offer of $20,000 less than asking price if this was your home? A lot of them don't know what to say. I know it's a game in the sense that buyers trying to get the house on the lower end, the seller's going to try to get it for the higher end, but you're dealing with people at the end of the day and emotions. You insult them right away, the negotiation's not going well. And one more thing actually I'll say about the emotional side of the sale is people make decisions and purchases based off of emotion. Then they justify their purchase with logic. Okay, if you say, hey, this is a no-brainer, this house, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms in the town of Manlius, right next to where they work, it's a no-brainer, they should get it. If it doesn't evoke the emotion that they feel at home, they can see themselves living there, they're not going to buy it for logic's sake. Okay? Keep that in mind. Decisions like these are made off of emotion. We want to evoke positive emotion. What is expected of a home seller before there's an accepted contract and in the negotiation phase? Okay, flexibility with showings. Okay, if an agent contacts your agent and says, hey, can I show the house tonight at 6? All right, you want to be as accommodating as possible. Okay, don't make it difficult. Realistic expectations. If you're pricing your house at the highest possible, all right, if you're demanding more money, it may take longer for it to sell. Okay, if you're, so just keep realistic expectations. All right, keep the home clean and tidy, all right? For time's sake, we're gonna kind of speed through this. Patience, okay, and that goes with realistic expectations. Patience. You're demanding top dollar for your home. It may take more than 30 minutes to sell your home on the market. It may take a week, it may take 2 weeks, it may take 3 weeks, okay? Don't be present during showings and open houses. Not once have I been able to sell a house to my buyers when the seller is present. It's tough. You can't speak your mind. You're not going to feel the emotion of being home when someone else is in your home or in the home with you. Okay? So get out, especially the current owner. So get out. If you're worried about things, take your valuables, go from there. Okay? Plan of how multiple offers will be handled. In this market, since we're in a seller's market, and actually, real quick about the seller's market, I spoke to a realtor previously a few weeks ago, and he said, think about this. The good inventory, or the inventory that's been well kept, is selling and getting multiple offers on it. The inventory where there's a lot of work that needs to be done, the quote-unquote bad inventory, that's the inventory that sits on the market for way too long. And I somewhat agree, but if the property's overpriced, it's overpriced. Okay, so plan of how multiple offers will be handled. Let's just say that you price your home right, you do a great job evoking emotion, all right, and also, by the way, the licensed real estate salespeople, they know all about that, and they can help you market your home, and they'll do a lot of the marketing themselves, but they'll give you tips on how to evoke that emotion. But how multiple offers will be handled. In a seller's market, don't be surprised if your house is nice to receive multiple offers. Okay, and if it's priced right. You guys should have a game plan before the house hits the market on how it will be handled. And here's a hint about that. It's whatever you want to do. Okay, it's your house. All right. What I've seen a lot of is you take all the contracts that were submitted and then go back to everyone and say, provide your best offer by no later than 7 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to go over all the offers, so we need them in by 6. Okay? And don't necessarily take the highest offer because there could be contingencies. All right, like the buyer needs to sell their current home. Are you willing to wait an additional month, 2 months, 3 months to close on your house, waiting for them to sell their house? Okay? So best offers, not necessarily highest, but best offers. If serious issues are found in the home inspection, they should be considered. Okay, if there's something wrong with foundation, for example, or a serious issue with the house, all right, and you say, well, too bad, take it or leave it, and the buyer says, all right, leave it, I'm not buying your problems. You put it back on the market. Not only do you have to disclose what is found, if provided the home inspection results, but other people are going to demand it be fixed. Okay, if you know there's a serious defect in the home, you have to let people know when you market it. Okay? So, if serious issues are found in the home inspection, they should be considered. It is a negotiation, but it's cooperation. It takes two parties to make it work. All right, if you say too bad, so sad, good luck, have a nice day. You know, the same thing's gonna be said to you. What is expected of a seller when there is an accepted offer before the sale closes? All right, flexibility in scheduling home inspections, radon tests, appraisal appointments, re-inspections, pest inspections, and final walkthrough. All right, that's not the last of people walking through your home. All right, these things need to be done. All right, so still be flexible. Fulfilling the seller's duties in the executed contract. Okay? I'm going to get into that right now. Let's look at the contract most realtors use locally. The following slides contain snips of a purchase contract used by realtors here locally and do not include all parts of the contract. Pay attention to every word of the actual contract when an offer is made on your home, not only the parts I'm about to show you. Okay, I'm going to read this off to you. Premises. Seller shall sell and convey, and buyer shall purchase the property, including all buildings, improvements, and appurtenances. For some reason I can't pronounce that word. Thereto collectively the premises, known as mailing address 123 Main Street, Manlius, New York 13104. The town of Manlius, county of Onondaga, state of New York, being a single-family residence, and you know you'll fill all this in, or the buyer will. Identified by tax map number, and the agent for the buyer will fill that in. Okay, this sale also includes all fixtures and articles of personal property now attached or pertinent to the premises, including all plumbing, heating, lighting, bathroom and kitchen cabinets, mantles, doors, garage door openers, and respective remotes, Venetian blinds, shades, screens, curtain rods, awnings, storm windows, storm and screen doors, window boxes, mailbox, TV aerials, weather vanes, pumps, shrubbery, fencing, electronic fencing, and transmitter and receiver, tool shed, built-in dishwasher, garbage disposal unit, built-in range and or oven, built-in air conditioning equipment and installations, wall-to-wall carpeting and other fixtures and fittings belonging to or used in the operation of the premises and owned by seller, and there's room to add other things that'll convey with the property. Okay, excluded from the sale are any of the following items that may be on the premises: furniture, household furnishings, rented water softeners, air conditioning units installed in windows, and other things that are not to be included. Okay, and this is the lawful stuff I was talking about before. If you need help interpreting this contract from a law standpoint or parts of a contract, at a law standpoint, you need to consult an attorney. Okay. Seller's representation. Seller represents and warrants to buyer that the personal property described in section 1, which is what we just read, or at closing will be paid for and owned by seller, free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. All plumbing, including septic systems, wells, and water pumps, if any, heating, air conditioning, electrical, and mechanical systems and appliances will be in working order at the time of closing. Seller has the exclusive right, power, and authority to sell, convey, and transfer the premises in accordance with the terms of this contract. And 4, at the time of closing, the premises shall be free of containers of hazardous substances as those terms are defined under any federal, state, or local laws, rules, or regulations pertaining to environmental regulations, contamination, or cleanup. Paints, household cleaning products, gasoline, and used oil. Okay? This is going to be a mouthful. Let me grab a quick drink for this one. Glad it started to cool off a little bit in this room. Before you guys all got here, it was really hot. Like I told the lady helping me out, I said, I don't know what people want. Do I want to keep my coat on and profusely sweat in front of them, or do I take my coat off? But it cooled off significantly. Thank the Lord. You're welcome. All right. Title documents. Seller shall deliver to buyer no later than 15 days prior to closing an up-to-date abstract of title prepared by a title or abstract company authorized to do business in the state and made in accordance with Onondaga County Bar Association standards if the property is within Onondaga County. Made from the records of the county clerk's office and commencing with a warranty deed conveying a 100% fee interest and recorded no later than 40 years prior to the date of the contract, or no later than 1945, if the property is within Onondaga County. Or a fee title insurance policy, if acceptable to all parties, a tax search covering county, city, or other taxes for the applicable lien period, current property tax receipts, and proof of payment of common charges, if any. Seller shall also provide an up-to-date instrument survey showing improvements, courses, and distances of all boundaries in relation to a monument or other fixed point. All fences, driveways, encroachments, and easements affecting or appurtenant to the premises, setback lines certified to the buyer, its lender, and the title company. If the premises is a condominium unit in lieu of the above, seller shall provide and deliver to buyer a copy of the existing owner's or mortgagee policy, if any, and stub search from date of policy, together with tax searches and tax receipts as herein above set forth. In the event this contract is terminated, the title documents shall be promptly returned to seller or seller's attorney by buyer or buyer's attorney. This provision shall survive the termination of the contract. I'm going to get another drink, because that was a lot. Then we'll get going with marketable title. Excuse me. Hang in there, everyone. Now, this stuff can be kind of dry, but this is the terminology you'll be seeing most likely in the contracts you'll be receiving on your house. So it's better to see them now. Marketable title. At closing, seller shall transfer to buyer good and marketable title to the premises, subject to building and use restrictions of record and governmental laws, regulations, and/or ordinances, provided that the same are not violated, utility and/or drainage easements benefiting the premises or permitted pursuant to FNMA, FHLMC's title standards, and taxes for the local improvements not then due. Otherwise, such title shall be free and clear from the rights of others unless set forth herein. Buyer has been advised that the premises is or may lie in lands claimed by Native American group, and that fact shall not be raised as a defect in title. Okay? Okay. Closing. Passing of title, quote unquote, closing, shall be held at the office of buyer's lending institution or its attorney, or if none, at the office of the seller's attorney, or as otherwise agreed on or about, and the buyer will write their proposed date. Okay, and that's negotiable as well. The date. Closing documents. At the time of closing, seller shall execute and deliver to buyer a warranty deed with a lien covenant together with such other documents as may be required by law or reasonably requested by buyer's attorney or lending institution. Adjustments. Prepaid or unprepaid charges, including but not limited to rents and security deposits, taxes, water and common charges, garbage removal fees, and fuel oil and propane shall be prorated and adjusted as of 11:59 p.m. the day before closing, or 11:59 at the end of the last day of possession by seller, whichever is later. Fuel oil and propane in storage shall be adjusted at the average market price at the time of closing. Comprende? Right. Okay. Recording expenses. Buyer shall pay the applicable mortgage tax and deed and mortgage recording fees. So, buyer shall pay the applicable mortgage tax and deed and mortgage recording fees. Seller shall pay for the recording fees for any mortgage discharge, gains tax affidavit, and any title affidavit required, as well as transfer tax and any real property gains tax applicable to the transaction. For residential real property, the buyer shall pay a tax of 1% of the purchase price. The purchase price is $1 million or more. Okay, here are some terms that we, not all the terms, obviously, but here's some terms that we spoke about in the previous slides. Warranty deed is a deed that guarantees a clear title to the buyer of real property. An abstract title is the history of all previous owners. It's a summary giving details of the title, deeds, and documents that prove an owner's right to dispose of land, together with any encumbrances that relate to the property. Okay, it's going to show the history of who's owned the property, okay, before you. Some of them can go really far back too. It's really interesting to see if you still have your abstract title. All right, and a deed is a document, a legal document that is signed and delivered, especially one regarding the ownership of property or legal rights. Okay, right down here. A few more of these. Okay, lead-based paint contingency addendum and disclosure. If the premises was constructed prior to 1978, buyer and seller must complete and sign the lead-based paint contingency addendum and disclosure form, or this contract will not be binding. Very important. If your house was built before 1978, you have to have that addendum and disclosure. Seller's property condition disclosure. The buyer is entitled by law to receive from the seller a signed property disclosure condition statement prior to signing a binding contract. In the event seller fails to deliver said statement, the buyer is entitled to receive a credit of $500, at closing. See section 463 of the Real Property Law for exemptions. Okay? Well and septic testing. In the event the premises are serviced by a private well or a spring or septic system, this contract is subject to seller at seller's expense, providing to the buyer at least 15 days prior to closing septic dye test evidencing no leakage or such test as may otherwise be required by the county health department or municipality. A well test showing a minimum flow rate of 3 gallons per minute, for 2 hours, or such test may otherwise be required by buyer's lending institution. A water quality test complying with the minimum standards for the lender and or county health department municipality. Seller shall provide all test results to buyer. If the test results do not pass, seller may repair or replace the systems at seller's expense. However, if seller is unwilling to repair or replace the system, seller shall give notice to buyer within 3 days of receipt of failed test. With 7 days of receipt of notice from seller, buyer may terminate the contract on notice. In the event buyer terminates the contract, the deposit shall be returned to the buyer. Okay. Lastly, this contract is contingent upon approval by attorneys for seller and buyer. If either party does not identify an attorney and deliver a complete copy of this fully executed contract to said attorney by 3 business days following his execution of the contract by all parties, this attorney approval contingency shall be deemed waived by that party. Each attorney shall have 3 business days exclusive of the day of receipt of a complete copy of this fully executed contract within which to provide notice of approval or disapproval of the contract. The approval period. If party's attorney disapproves this contract before the end of the approval period, this contract is deemed terminated and all deposits shall be returned. A conditional approval shall be deemed a disapproval unless assented to by the other party's attorney within 3 business days of receipt of the conditional approval. Written communication by attorneys pursuant to this provision shall bind their respective clients. If a party's attorney neither approves, conditionally approves, nor disapproves this contract by the end of the approval period, this approval contingency is deemed waived by that parte. Okay? One slide recap of the whole presentation. came here to learn about the market. We're currently in a seller's market. Okay? We're in a seller's market because the months of inventory in Manlius is 3.3 months. Okay? Homes that are priced right sell faster than homes that are overpriced. We went over that earlier in the presentation. So make sure we price your house properly. Use comps. Use your agents. Your agent should be able to provide comps that match your property and base your pricing off of those comps. Okay, don't just pick a number out of the sky and say my house is worth $500,000 when it's a one-bedroom house, 700 square feet. You're probably not going to get it. Okay, here, Manlius. Take the necessary amount of time to prepare your home for sale and make it as marketable as possible. You don't get a second chance at first impressions. Okay, it's about evoking the emotion into the buyer when they walk into your house. When they first drive up, do they want to be driving up to this house for the next few years of their life, next 7 to 9 to 10 years, or 20 years, however long they want to stay there? And then when they walk in, do they feel at home? You want to evoke those feelings. They feel like home. They feel at home. They want the property. Okay, be prepared for what is expected of you when the house is on the market and when you have an accepted offer. I could have just said, hey, you need to do this in one slide, but I like using the contract terminology because you get to see exactly what the contract requires of you. Okay, anything specific to your situation, your attorney will be able to advise you on what else you need to bring. All right, I can't advise that, but I can only show you what is commonly asked of a seller based off of the contract. Okay? All right, I just want to talk to you about www.13104homevalue.com. All right, go there, put your address in, see how much it's an automated valuation system. See how much your property is worth in the valuation tool. Okay, you have to put in your email address, phone number, etc. That'll be sent to me. I will be able to contact you afterwards and say, hey, this is right around what you should be expecting your market value to be. But I like to do my own analysis as well. This is a good kind of general summary, and I'll give you a confidence level. It's a very good valuation tool. However, I like to do my own anyway. All right, so you'll get that number, and then I can cross-reference the number that this provided to you, and it's instantaneous. And then I'll provide my number to you. I'll get in touch with you, and then we can sit down and meet and see where we should price your house on the market. Okay? Even if you're not looking to sell for another 6 months, 12 months, go ahead and use the tool. See how much your property will be worth in today's market. All right? It cannot tell you how much your property will be worth a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, known as that crystal ball. Okay? But excellent tool right here. Any questions? Any questions at all? No? See some smiles? Good. Okay. All right. Perfect. We can discuss after as well. All right. As a thank you for attending, I'd like to offer anyone who lists their home with me in the next 3 weeks a rebate of $250 towards your seller home inspection at closing. Okay, what I advise all my sellers, they don't all necessarily do it, but I advise, hey, get a home inspection so that you're prepared and it protects you from when a buyer gets their own home inspection, if they choose to do so, say, hey, no, these are the results we found, we're sticking to this. Versus you're paying for the home inspector's service, they're going to look out for, they have to tell you what they find, but they also know that you're the one paying for them. All right, same thing for a buyer. Buyer pays for a home inspector. They can say, hey, write down every little thing and let's see if we can knock this purchase price down. You can say, this is what I found, this is what we handled, and it protects you. Okay? And I'm offering anyone who takes action here today $250 rebate towards that home inspection, pre-listing home inspection, okay? Or, yeah, before we put it on the market. All right, so that's a pretty good chunk. I mean, home inspections, they can cost anywhere from $250 to $350, maybe $400. That's a huge chunk taken away. All right, and stipulations do apply. Stipulations apply. Be sure to provide your phone number, email address, and home address you wish to sell in the next 3 days on the sign sheet that we had over there. Okay, that I had all you sign in. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I've seen a lot of success with this. This is my contact information over here. I'm Lawrence Pablo, licensed real estate salesperson with Gilbo Realty. My phone number is 315-748-2524. You guys, I see a bunch of you grab my postcard. I also have my business cards over there. I'd love to help you sell your house. I'm licensed to sell houses. But you're free to choose whoever you want. But hopefully today you've learned something. And thank you for being here.